it's one of those games that I thought United could obviously win, though Everton is a team that really had a very huge squad. But I tell you what, if a team gets a red card when it's still 0-0, and again they score against you when you are one man ahead of them, do you know what that means? It means that there is something that is not being done. And for this particular game of football, I've always told people that you are hailing Casemiro because we are trying to figure out results. But when you look at that goal, that double pivot was the reason as to why he went ahead, obviously, consider that goal. If I'm Bruno Fernandes, if you decide to obviously do that, why don't you foul the player on the edge of the Renard's box area and he really goes down? I think for me, a foul would have gone ahead to obviously save the club of Manchester United. But Bruno let the player go, and then the player skipped past Lenny Yoro. I don't really blame Lenny Yoro because Lenny Yoro had always in the 18 yards box area of Man United. And if at all he had gone ahead, obviously touch that player, it was going to be a penalty for Everton. So I think Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro would have gone ahead to do the needful. And the way Casemiro really switched off, because when he takes off Lenny Yoro, I think Casemiro was supposed to be a man in that area, and the guy had yards of space to shoot. And it looked like Everton were the ones with the red card, not Manchester United. You understand? So, the club of Manchester United, if there is anything positive they are supposed to get out of this season, Manchester United should find themselves in a position of really signing in a midfielder who can play as a CDM and a box-to-box midfielder. That is it. Bruno Fernandes won't really serve you that purpose, And in such games, this is where you obviously listen and get back to me when I told you about the brand memos of this world and so on and so forth, that those players were not the most important players to bring in first. I told you we needed 2 midfielders before anyone came in here. United needed maybe another number 10, but I think the players that we have, Zexi, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, Amadi Diallo, I think those could act as 10s. Would have gone into strengthen that midfield and really get in 2 superb midfielders, because in that system there is a lot of space left if at all you don't have 2 workaholic midfielders in there. And Casemiro, we know he's naked, and his age, he lost his legs, he couldn't obviously run in there for you. So all I want to let you know is that we considered a very bad goal, but it was a brilliant take from Drosbury Hall in there to obviously give United a deficit into that game of football. But again, you ask yourself, if that goal went in through in the half like at half time, United couldn't obviously come up and obviously even get an equalizer. You get? And the best chance that you could create was to go long and put in crosses to find out a player as Joshua Zexi. And I think Joshua Zexi had close to 3 shots on target with his head that were saved by the goalkeeper. But in these other line-breaking passes, we were nowhere to be seen. We turned to crosses, and I think that was really very bad of a game plan for the club of Manchester United, as Everton has Tarkowski and Keane, who obviously look good in such areas of the pitch. And I know Ruben Amorim is going to be fuming, but we are yet to another worst run in there for you. Losing at Old Trafford, and then we are going to be playing against Crystal Palace away. And if we've gone ahead to really lose to Everton at home, I don't think that we can obviously get a win from Crystal Palace. And we've also gone ahead to miss out on really going fourth in there, and Everton have gone ahead to win their game, something that irritates really deeply in here onto the Rokani, onto the United Manchester channel. So all I want to let you know is that bad loss for the club of Manchester United. I was 100% sure by the way that we're obviously going to be winning this game of football. That is it. But what really came up, I don't know what these players were all about. What is really ashaming is that when this team of Everton were still 11 men, they were all over the place and they were attacking Manchester United. And United had no plan to really attack them. But when they went a man down, that's when United started to attack the team that was like let me obviously sit down and really prevent myself from being hurt or injured. But instead of United scoring a goal, it's Everton that really gets that goal. And they're at Old Trafford, and they defend, they park the bus. And this is where you ask the manager, when do you think of getting in Kobe Mainoo to obviously change this game of football? And in a game like that, if I'm him, Casemiro had no role in that game, All you needed were the three defenders and then pack that midfield with creative midfielders, because Everton's only way to attack left was to obviously do the needful and hit us on the break. That's where Ugarte comes in through, because he can also play as a number 8, and with his recovery pace, he helps you a lot. Lenny Yoro was on the pitch, and you know that he's really a very fast centre-back. So all we needed was to front in players that can obviously open up that central defense of Everton. But Mbeumo couldn't. Amad Diallo couldn't. No player really looked good onto that entire team of Manchester United. And one can refer to it as a bad day in office. You understand? And if you at all you watched my match day live towards the game of football, I hinted onto how these players are from the international break, and the tactics still in their heads are still those of the international break, because they've gone ahead to spend 2 weeks away. So it means the manager had to reinstill in those tactics once again, and we hope for the better for the club of Manchester United. But our upcoming games, I think, are not really that easy, because we really have to face off with some of the best in the business, and Crystal Palace has given very many big teams headache. Now, why not Manchester United? If they've come up and obviously given headache to most of the people, most of the teams in there, so why don't they obviously go ahead and obviously give United a very hard time in there for you? So guys, thank you very much for watching through, and think you want to see the stats, right? Let me look out here for the stats and really give them to you as you really need them. Let me bring you the stats. They were as follows. These are the stats. 22 shots. Yep. For the club of Manchester United. 23 shots for Manchester United. 2 for Everton, meaning that it's only one that really crossed the line, and it was the only one on target. 6 shots. United looked very bad. At least we're going to register like 12 or 13 shots on target. 70% ball possession by Manchester United, 30% ball possession by Everton, 452 passes completed by Manchester United, and 201 passes completed by Everton. 91% passing accuracy by Manchester United, 72% passing accuracy by Everton. 12 fouls by Manchester United, 8 fouls by Everton. 2 yellow cards to the side of Manchester United, and 0 yellow cards to the side of Everton. 0 red cards to Manchester United and 1 to Everton. 1 offside to Man United and 2 to the side of Everton. Then 9 corners to the side of Manchester United and 1 corner to the side of Everton in there. So that's how the stats really went down in there. Now we go to the table and see where the club of Manchester United is, and see how the games of football are going to happen, because Manchester United had really a very hard game today. Now, Arsenal, top of the table, 29 points. Chelsea second, 23 points. Man City third, 22. Aston Villa fourth, 21 points. That's where United would have gone to be for they won their game. Then Crystal Palace fifth with 20 points. A team that United is playing next in there. And Brighton, 6th, 19 points. Sunderland, 7th, 19 points. Bournemouth, 8th, 19 points. Tottenham Hotspur, 9th with 18 points. 10th is Manchester United, and they're having 18 points in there for you. You understand? Everton has leveled with Man United 18-18 in there for you. So that's how the table is really looking like for the side of Manchester United. We sign out for now. See you later and good night.